Okay, so now my folder is open. So how do I start this? How do I start my website? This is my main file. This is index.html. How do I start it? By pressing what?
You have to.
Yeah, I have to do what?
Go live.
Yeah, go live. Okay, yeah. So we have made up until these sections. Yeah, these. So today we are left with last two sections. So let's complete this one first. So what are you seeing here? How many divs? How many children? What are you seeing? Like what do you see? How many divs do we have in this section? Let me zoom out a bit so it becomes visible. Yeah, so here it is. So how many divs do we have?
One parent and four divs.
Four divs? Or do we have something that is enclosing these divs? So before the four divs, we have. Okay. So since all of these are part of the same group, so we have a parent. Okay. So inside this parent, we have how many divs? How many divs do we have inside this parent?
Four.
Nope. We can put four parent divs directly. We have to make them side by side, go side by side. So how many
Two.
divs? Two. Good, we have two. Now these two divs can be like this, like for the top section we can do it like this, and for the bottom we can do it like this. Okay, this is correct. Plus you can do it like this as well. You can have one for the left, one for the left section and one for the right section. Like both of these would be correct. Why both of these would be correct? Because they are side by side. Okay, similarly these are side by side as well, so we can create them like this for the upper section, and we can create like this for the bottom section, or we can do it other way around, where we can group these two in a one div and these two in another div. Okay, so let us do it like this. So we have the top section, we have the bottom section, and inside these two sections we have how many divs? Like in the top section we have how many divs? Like how many divs?
Two.
Yeah, go two for the left one and one for the right one. Similarly in the bottom section we have on the left and we have this div on the right. Okay, so this is the layout. So let us code it. Let me first collapse this. Okay, I'm gonna put a comment here, and let's name it images section. Okay, so first of all we have this main div here, so let me name it as, let's say, images and section, or we can call it images container. Let's say. So inside this container, how many divs do we have? Like there's a layout right in front of you. How many divs do we have inside the main container? Nope. Yeah, the main container. How many divs do we have inside the main container? This is the main container. So how many divs can you see inside this main container? We have two. One, and this one is two. Okay, so let's name it. Oh, sorry, I thought you said four. Sorry about that. So let's name it top images, and let's name it bottom images. Okay. Okay, so all of these are images. This one, this one, this one. But this isn't just the image. Inside the fourth one we have the image, we have the text, and we have the button. Okay, so what we can do is, we can, in the top section we can say, let's call it img1. Okay, and similarly copy it down. What's a shortcut for copying a line down? What is the shortcut? Yeah, good. Shift Alt arrow down. So let's name it image 2, and inside this image 1 we're gonna say image, and let's copy it and paste it here, and make sure to give it a width of 100%. Similarly, in the second we're gonna create another image tag and then copy it and then paste it, then also give it a width of 100%. Yeah, the parent. And who's the parent of this image? Nope. Who's the parent of this image? This image has a parent. Yeah, good. Image 2. And image 2 has a parent of top images, and this top images has a parent of image container. So eventually it's gonna look it to this container. Okay. So let's go with the bottom one. Copy image address. So bottom images. So let's name image 4. We'll do with the name of image 4 image, and with the width of let's 100%. So now for the next one, after the image 4 we're gonna have image, sorry, it shouldn't be image 4, it should say image 3, and this one should say image 4. Make sure it's in the bottom images container. Inside the image 4 we're gonna have an image, and what do you think would be the width of this image 4? Would it be 100% for this one? If you compare, yeah, good, it should be around 25 or 30, because if you are giving these images 100%, this one with relation to this one is quite small. So we're gonna say width, let's say 40%, I guess would be good. Save it. So let's go back to our website. So now we have these 5 images. Okay, so what I want to do now is, for this top section and this bottom section, I want them to be aligned side by side. What should I do? Yeah, good. Display flex on the top images, this one, because it's holding the upper 2 images, and then on this one because it's holding the bottom images. So I want to select both of them simultaneously. How do I do that? Dot bottom images, then comma, dot, and then I'm going to say dot top images, and I'll just say display to be flex. It's going to do what? It's going to align them side by side. Yes, it is aligning, but it's not aligning the bottom one. Why is that? It's aligning the top one side by side, but it's not aligning the bottom images, because I've said bottom image and not images. Yeah, good. So now they're aligned, but there's a problem. And what is that problem? Which one? Yeah, good. So basically the problem that we have is the images are not perfectly, they're not perfectly taking up the equal widths. This image 1 is greater than the image 2. Similarly, this image 3 is greater than all of the images. So what we have to do now is we have to give each image the equal width. Okay, so I'm going to target every image. So I'm going to target image 1, comma, and then I'm going to say image 2, comma, and then I'm going to say dot image 3, comma, and I'm going to say image 4. Yeah, so I'll target every container, and I'm going to say all of you would have a width of 50%. Why did I say 50%? Because I want each image to take up the 50% of the screen. Okay, like half of the screen. So let me save it. So now if you were to see, they are perfectly they have perfectly the same width.
And this goes for all of the images every time.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Give it 50%, so it makes 50.
Yeah,
Give them an equal width.
exactly. Good. That's exactly the point. But it also depends on the context. What do I mean by the context? For example, in this case, these images had equal widths. Okay, so that's why we had to give 50% of the width. But for example, in some other scenario, for example, if we have, let's say, let me open paint. For example, let's say in another scenario we have images like this, like this. So what do you think? Would we give each image the width of 50% now?
No.
No. Good. So this one might be have, let's say, might be having 70%. This one would be around 30%. Similarly, this one would be now 30%, and this one would be 70%. So basically, it depends on your context. It depends on your design.
Okay.
Okay.
But if they're the same,
Yeah.
just like the fancy website, we give it 10,
Yeah.
50, and then
Yes.
the weight on the website?
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh,
Exactly.
okay, got it.
Okay. So there's another point that I need to highlight, that is, I have targeted the divs of the images. I haven't targeted the images, and that's exactly how you should do it. You should always target the parent. Child is automatically going to align with the parent. Okay, always target the parent. Child is automatically going to align with it. Okay, but there's again, although these images are now equal of width, but why doesn't this image equals to these images? Why do you think it's happening?
The height?
Not the height. For this image we have specifically given it a width of 40%. That's why. Okay. So it's basically taking 40% of its parent. That's why it's smaller than all of the other images, and that's exactly what we want. Okay. Okay. So what now we want is, I want to make the entire parent smaller. Like, who's the parent of all everything? Like, who's the main parent for these images? Who's the main parent?
Image container?
Yeah, good, image container. So we have to align it with all the other sections that we have created up until this point. So images, image container, or images container, images container. We're going to say images container. How should I decrease it in size?
The width?
Yeah, good, the width. And how much should be the width? We have to align it with the other sections as well. What was the width of other sections? How much? No, it wasn't 50. The other sections was? How much width did the other sections had? They had
70?
70%. So you have to make them align with the other sections. 70%. So now our containers, we have smaller width, but I want it in the center. How do we make it go in the center? Yeah, good. So I'm going to say margin 2 rem from top and bottom, and auto from left and right. Okay, that's great. Next thing I want to do is, I want to have some spacing between these images. What should I do?
Gap
Very good, gap. So where do I put the gap?
in the parent.
And who's the parent of these images?
Uh, image container.
Nope. Image container is the main parent. The parent of the images. It's right in front
Oh,
of you. It's right in front of you.
The
top
bottom images?
images.
Yeah, the bottom and top images.
Oh.
So we're gonna say gap, and let's say 2 rem. So if you can see, we have this gap, okay, between these images, but I want to have gap like from the bottom. So we can't use gap because these aren't the children, these are the siblings. So how we can do it? We can say margin, and then I say 2 rem and 0, meaning 2 rem from top and bottom and 0, but it's too much,
So
I
you
guess.
use that from the bottom
Yeah,
margin?
yeah, we can use
So
mark.
can you use padding?
No, we can't. Why do you think we can't use the padding? Let me tell you why we can't. Let me give it a border and 2 pixels solid, and let's see red. So these are our top and bottom containers. Okay, so if we were to give padding, what would happen is, it's gonna have the margin from the inside. If you would see, these borders didn't have the space. Okay, it's having the space from the inside. We don't want that. We want the margin, we want the spacing from the outside. So what should we use? We can use margin, and let's say 2 rem and auto. Sorry,
Oh,
only 2
because
rem.
margin creates space outside the images?
Yeah, exactly,
Got
exactly.
it.
Okay. But it's too much, I guess.
That's a question.
Yeah,
You can only use gap on this whole
very
flex
good.
line.
That's a very good question. That's a very good question that you have raised. Okay. So why can't we use gap? Always remember that gap is the property of flex. And what do you think? Which children are inside the flex parent? Like these children, or these one? The one that is side by side, they are inside the flex parent. Yes or no?
Yeah.
So if I were to put gap, the gap would only be applied to the children that are inside the flex parent. Now these two are inside the flex parent, so they are going to have some gap, and they have this gap. But why can't we use gap for these? Because they are not part of the same parent. Are they part of the same parent?
No.
They have a different parent, like the top section and the bottom section. They have the different parent. So that's why we can't use gap, because they are not part of the same parent. Okay, so let's use margin, and maybe let's say 1 rem, and similarly gap should also be 1 rem. And let me remove this border. Yeah, it's good now. Also, what we want to do is we have to target this last section, and we want to give it this color. So how do we pick this exact color? Yeah, good, color zilla. And what was the name of this last child? This one. What's the name of this last child? Like this was image 1, 2, 3. This one was,
Image 4.
yeah, image 4. So we're going to target image 4, and we can say background this. So now we have this background. The second thing we're going to do is I want to make them round. All of these images round. Yeah, good. Border radius, where do I put it? So all of the images are targeted at once. They are already being selected here, so we can do it here. We're going to say border radius, maybe let's say 10 px. Okay, so this is rounded. Why isn't this rounded? Not just this, all of these three aren't rounded. Why do you think it's behaving like that? Well, if I were to, let's say, turn on my pesticide, you can see that these are rounded. Can you see? Let me zoom it away. Can you see they're rounded? But the image is exceeding the parent. So that's why you can see the roundness. So how can we counter that? We can say, in this there's a new property I'm going to show you, overflow. Overflow would mean anything that is going outside the parent. Overflow would mean anything that is being outside the parent. What do you want to do with that? Let's say I'm going to say overflow hidden. What would this mean is anything that is overflowing from the parent, that is getting out of the parent, hide it, don't show it to me. So if I were to save it, and can you see it now? We have this roundness, but it's still not that rounded. Yeah, it's rounded.
Yeah.
It's rounded, but there's a problem with this one. Let me turn on the pesticide, and that is because the height of the images is, wait, what is this is some space here. So how do I know which, how do I know what is this space? How do I know that? We can click, right click, and then inspect, and then you can tell which is this, what is this space. So let me zoom, let me scroll down. No, so what is this space? So this is my image, this is my container, and I have made it to be rounded with this one. Okay, so there seemed to be a problem. So how do we counter it? We can counter it like this. Move this, and we can say image 1 and then image. What would this mean? Yeah, very good. It's going to target the image that is inside the image 1. Okay, and then we can say dot image 2 and then image. What would happen now? It's going to target the image that is inside the image 2, and then we're going to say dot image 3 and then space image, and then we can say dot image 4 and then image. What this mean is it's going to target the image that is inside the image 1, and then it's going to target image that is inside the image 2, and so on. There's an easy way to do it. I'm going to show you just in a bit. But first let me make it rounded. So I'm going to say border radius and let's say 10 pixels. So in this case it's directly targeting the images and making the border radius to be around 10 pixels. So before, what we were doing is we were targeting the parent and the images were overflowing from the parent. So in this case it's directly going to target the images, so you're going to see the live effects directly on the image. So can you see images being rounded now? But there's a problem. And what is the problem? No. I guess 1, 2, 3 are good. The problem is inside. This one was 4.
Yeah, 4.
Yeah. So the
It's
4.
not rounded.
Yeah. So why is that? Why isn't the border rounded? Here's the code. Here's the code, and you have. I'm not gonna tell you. You have to tell me how. Why is it not being rounded? Although we have specified that the image inside the image 4 should be rounded.
Is it the comma?
No. There's
Should
a
it have the same with right?
no. There's another thing. There's another problem. What do you think?
Overflow?
Nope. Look, images 1, 2 and 3, they're perfectly alright. But this one isn't being like the other 3. Why is that? That is because this one, the one you're seeing, the gray part, it's not the image. It's the actual div. The image is this one. So if you want to target this is not the image. What is this? This one is the div. So we have to target the div and give it the border radius. So what I mean is so we have to target the image for div and not the image. So we're gonna say border radius and maybe let's say 10 px. So now we have it rounded. Okay. So now I'm gonna show you something else, and the easier way to do this, all of this, because it's quite lengthy and it's being repeated again and again. So there's another pseudo class. Okay, there's another pseudo class, and it's called where. Okay, so where would mean is wherever the images are. So I'm gonna say, let's say image, okay, and then colon where. So that is going to do what? It's going to select the images, but where is going to select the images? It's going to select the images what you are going to specify here. So basically it's going to do the same thing, but instead of, let's say, 4 lines, it's going to do it inside the 1 line. So let me do it again. So how do you target it? How you target multiple elements in a single line? You're going to say image. What would happen if I were to do this? What would happen if I were to do, let's say, just write image? Would something happen or not? Yeah, very good. It's going to target all the images. Yeah, but we don't want that. We just want the images that are inside the image 1, 2, 3 and 4. Yes.
Yes.
So we'll say image and then put a space, and then we'll put colons, and then we'll say where. So it's a pseudo class. So basically we're going to put parentheses, and then we are going to specify from where do we want to select the images. So you guys are going to tell me from where do we want to select the images. Very good. Not just image 4. We're going to say dot image 1 comma dot image 2 and then dot image 3 and then dot image 4. So what would happen now is it's going to target the images that are only inside these divs. Okay, let me do it, and let me check it out, and then I can do it again. Border radius, let's say 10 pixels. Nope, it's targeting the fourth one and it isn't targeting the all the other images. So it's not working. Well, maybe it's the browser support. Let me do it with one image. No, no, it's not doing it. Anyways, okay, let me remove this and we can maybe try it on some other elements. So let's do it like this at the moment. So what's it going to do is it's going to target the image 1 and then the image, and then it's going to target the image 2 div and then the image and so on. Okay, so now inside the image 4 we want to have this. What is this? Is this a paragraph or heading?
Paragraph.
Yeah, is it a paragraph or heading? I think it's not paragraph, it's quite bold, or maybe let's say paragraph, we can bold it later. Okay, so after this, inside the image 4 and after this image, we're gonna put paragraph, copy it and then paste it, and yeah, we can bold it. Okay, so and then what is this? This is
The button.
button. Yeah, good. So let's name it explore menu. So button with the class of explore menu, and it's going to say explore menu. Okay, great. So the first thing we're gonna do is let's target the button first. So what's the name of the button? Explore menu. Copy it, not cut it, copy it, and then target it. Okay, so what do you see inside the button? How do we make it like this? Let's put
Background color.
very good. So first thing is background color. So we're gonna say background color and then this. Okay, what more? Okay, the background color is good. Then here's
The
KFC's one.
text.
Sorry, what
Mm,
else?
You have to put in the center.
Okay, how do we put it in the center? That's a difficult thing. So let's leave that for
Text
the end.
align.
No, no, we
Oh,
can't use
okay.
text line. So what more do you have? What more do
Color.
color? Yeah, good. So we have the color. So we're gonna say white. Okay, then what?
mm,
It's looking like it's looking.
padding.
Yeah, padding. So we're gonna say padding and maybe let's say 0.5 from top and bottom and 1 from left and right. Maybe make it. No, I think it should have more padding from left and right. Yeah, now it's good. What else?
The font size.
Yeah, good. Font size. It's gonna adjust itself when we put that property, which I'm
Font
expect.
weight.
So the font weight. Okay, so let's say font weight bolder. Okay. What else? There's something major thing is missing.
Uppercase.
Yeah, good. Uppercase. So what's the property?
Text transform.
Yeah, good. Text transform, and we're gonna say uppercase. Yeah. What more? It's not bolder. Let me make it more bolder. So let's say
And
maybe
border radius.
yeah, good border radius. Yeah, now it's bold. So we're gonna say border radius 5 px maybe. One last thing is missing. Like it's quite visible. Like it's really visible. You guys are now designers as well. You have to think like a developer and a designer.
Um,
Can you see that ugly border, the black part?
Border none.
Yeah, we have to put that border to be none. Okay, but still this button is quite thin, so let me increase the padding. Yeah, now it's looking good. Okay, now what we want to do is I want to put everything like this image, the text and the button in the dead center of its parent. How can I do that? This was the first assignment when we were studying Flex. How can we make something go dead in the center using Flex? So okay, the question is how can we make
justify content.
yeah, good, justify content, but justify content is a property of
Center.
Flex. Justify content is a property of flex. So we have to apply flex on this one. What is this div? This gray one.
Image 4.
Yeah, good. Image 4. So inside the image 4, first of all we're gonna put what? Display flex. But it'll
Flex,
be
yeah.
chaotic. It's chaotic. What happened here?
It stretched out too much.
No, there's something major is there's something else
The
that happened.
height?
No, you're just focusing on the button. What happened here?
Oh,
Wait, let me undo it. It's like this. Okay? Now I'm gonna
okay.
put flex. What happened? All three of them are aligned side by side. We don't want that. We want them to be where they were, like this. We want it to be like this, but we also want to put them in the center, and for that we need the display of flex. But if we were to put the display of flex, what happens is it's gonna put them side by side. We don't want that. Did you get the problem?
Yeah.
The problem
Yeah.
is that the flex aligns them side by side. We don't want that, but flex also provides us with a solution. Okay, this is a new property and really important property. Okay, so I want you to listen carefully. So when you put flex on something, it's gonna align them inside a row. It's gonna align them in a row. But if you want to align them in a column, flex also provides the property for that as well. In this case, we want to align all of these three in a column. Yes, is that it?
Yeah.
So what we can do is we're gonna say flex and then direction. Okay, basically flex direction is going to do what? It's going to ask you the direction of the flex, whether you want it in the center, whether you want it in the column, in a row. What do you want? So how do we want it?
Column.
Column. Yeah, good. So what would happen is going to align them in the column. So what would happen if I were to say column reverse? What do you think would happen?
It's gonna flip.
Yeah, very good. It's going to flip, and that's exactly what happens. Okay, so at the moment we want it in the column. So now we can use justify content. So how can we use justify content? So there's another thing. So when we were discussing flex, in fact when we are discussing flex, what is justify content used for? Is it used for the x-axis or y-axis?
The X.
Good, the x-axis. And what about the line items? What about the
Y.
line, the y? Yeah, good. But when you change the direction, so the properties are going to be flipped. So now the justify content is going to be used for
The
which?
Y.
Yeah, good. And the line items would be used for
The X. Oh, it
x.
switches.
Sorry.
It switches.
Yeah, it switches. Why? Because you switch the direction now. By
Oh,
default,
right, right.
okay. By default, it's row, and when it's row, the justify content is for x, and the line items is for y. But when you switch the directions, the properties are gonna be switched as well. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So if I want them in the center on the y-axis, what's the property? Make sure no. Keep in mind that it's now reversed.
Um.
The y-axis.
It would be the Y axis, right?
Yeah, the y-axis.
Yeah.
So what's the property?
Flex.
No, the justify content or line items?
Justify
Yeah, good.
content.
Justified content. Although this justified content is for x-axis, but because we have changed the direction, now this is going to work for the y-axis. Justify content in the center, so now it's in the center. I want it to be aligned on the x-axis as well. So what should I do? What's the property to align them on x-axis?
You have align items.
Yeah, good, align items. But isn't align items for y-axis?
No X.
But I've told you guys that align items is for y-axis. And justify content is
But
for x-axis.
with the reverse.
Yeah, because of the flex direction. So it's
Yeah.
gonna reverse. Now
Yeah.
they're dead in the center. Okay? Okay,
Yeah.
so finally we have reached the last section of our. Okay, KFC had put their logo to be green. Do you know why?
No.
Because we won the war, I guess.
Oh. They just changed it?
Yeah, they changed it to green. It was red before.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so this section is really important because it has a lot of logic. If you were to create if you were to create this section on your own, properly understanding everything, the whole website is going to be really easy for you. Okay, so what do you see here? Now this section is again really important. I want you to tell me each and everything. So how many divs do you see? Wait, let me undo all of this. Okay, how many divs do you see?
Three?
Nope. you you don't have to dive deep at the start. First you have to look at the big picture first and then go deep. So you have to give it a bird's eye view. Give it a bird eye view. What do you see?
Five?
Uh-huh. We only see one.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we only see one. Why is that? Because everything is enclosed inside a single div. Okay, so inside the single div, how many divs do you see? Look at the spaces and you'll see. Keep in mind the spaces and you'll see.
Five.
Five. No, we
One,
have
two,
three here.
four.
How do we have three? One, and all of these are aligned side by side. So two, and then these are aligned side by side. We have three. Okay, so one, two, and then we'll have three. Okay, inside the first one, how many do you see based upon the space?
Six.
The first one
And
based
two.
upon the space. Yeah, good. Two. So one is the logo and the other one it's holding all of these icons. So this one. Okay, so inside this one we have how much?
Two.
No, inside this one. Wait, let me. So we had two, the one with the logo and one for all of this. So inside the second one we have how much? How many do we have inside the second one? We have
Three.
three. Yeah, good. One, two, three. So let me do this.
I
Okay,
have a
one.
question.
Yeah.
So if you go back to the website, when we're counting the divs, right?
Okay.
We're counting the pictures itself, or we're counting the spaces next to the pictures as well.
Okay.
Like you see how it says YouTube, right?
Okay.
Then there's a space in between. Then it's Instagram. Then there's a space in between. Then it's Facebook, and then there's a space after Facebook.
No. You have to count the space between them.
Just between, not
Yeah.
the one that's before.
Yeah, exactly.
Because when we did the nav bar, remember you said to count the space before?
Count the spaces before or between?
Like you know where the three bars are next to KFC on the top?
Like this one?
Yeah.
Okay, so you just
Oh, okay,
you
okay,
count between
between.
them. Okay?
Yeah, oh, got it.
Always
Yeah.
count between them. Wait, let me tell you how. So this was our div. Wait,
Yeah.
let me draw it better. Okay. So basically how do you do it? You don't count these spaces. Okay, you count the spaces between the things you're seeing on your screen. So basically this one, this space.
Okay.
Okay, so
So that
basically
has one div between KFC and YouTube.
so we have this one, yeah. So we have this div and this div. Okay, why is that? Because we are not going to consider this one before. Why is that? Because this space as compared to this space is too small. So you
Yeah.
have to keep on the keep focus on the bigger spaces first. Okay, so
Okay.
first this is the main div. First we have to focus on the big space, and that is this space. So this one we have on the one on the left and one on the right. Now inside this div I want you to see the spaces between the different icons. So
So
basically
that only
this.
has two divs.
No. If we were to count this, how many divs do we have side by side? We have, let's say, 1, and then on the other
1,
side 2, and then
2.
3.
Oh, 3. Okay.
Okay. Okay, so 1, 2, and 3. Okay, let's move towards this one. Now again, count the spaces between the text or between the elements you're seeing. So how many divs do we have inside the second one?
Which one?
The second one, this one. Wait, let me highlight it.
3.
Spaces
4.
4. Yeah. So this space, and this space. After highlighting the spaces, now you have to count the divs that are on the sides of the spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So what about the last one? This one. Good.
2.
Yeah, good. 2. Okay. So we have this, and we have this one. So how much inside this one?
2.
2. Good. So we have the powered by, and we have this company name. Okay, so this is what we have to create, and this would be our inshallah last section, and tomorrow a new site is going to be started. Okay, so let's start with this one, and let me collapse this. And this section is called footer. Okay, so let's start. So we have one main div, so I'm gonna name it footer. Okay, so inside the footer, how many divs did we had? We had 1, 2, and 3. So I'm gonna name it. Let's name it. Give me a sensible name for this top div. It should refer to the top, and it should refer to the footer as well.
Um,
What should I do? Can I do like this? F top, meaning footer top. Okay,
yeah.
and then let's say F mid. Okay, and then let's say F and bottom. Okay, so let's do the F top first. The first thing we have is this KFC logo. So this logo is basically an image, so I'm gonna say F logo, meaning photo logo, and then I'm gonna say F icons. Okay, for this one, so we have two divs, F logo and F icons inside the F top, and similarly, yes, we have this F logo and F top. Okay, so inside the F logo we're gonna have an image, and we already have the logo inside a folder with the name of logo.png. So inside the source we're gonna write the name logo.png, and I'm gonna have a width of, let's say, 70px. And inside the alternative, did I told you about the alt tag attribute? Did taught you about this one or not? This tag.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Okay. Did I told you about this tag or
Yes,
not?
you did.
Okay. So this one basically alternative is, let's say, going to be logo. Save it. Okay. Let me see. Yeah, we have this logo. Okay, the first thing we want to do is we want to put this color on the footer so we can easily see where the footer is located. How can I do it?
The what?
The background color. What should I do?
Background color.
Yeah, good. On what? The main container is the footer. Okay, so we are going to say dot footer, and then background color, and then this grayish color. Yeah. Okay, the second thing I want to do is I want to have some space from the inside. What should I do? Like when I have space from this footer from the inside. Padding, yeah, good. So we're gonna say padding, let's say to rem. Yeah, we have the space. Okay, great. So let's move towards the icons. Okay, so these icons. So go back inside the HTML and inside the F icons. So what do you think this icon would be named? We don't have to go to Bootstrap. It's simple. What should this icon be named? Yeah, good, YouTube. So basically we're gonna say I, because icons have this I tag. Okay, I, the class of bi meaning Bootstrap icons, and then bi dash YouTube. You don't have to memorize it. You can just copy it from the Bootstrap icons. Okay.
Hold on. So when you wrote the BI, so that's already claiming that it's from Bootstrap.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, for example, if I were to go inside the Bootstrap icons, you're gonna see the
Yeah.
exact same thing. Let me search for YouTube. YouTube. I click it. So here's the thing, BI. So BI basically refers to
Oh.
Bootstrap icons, and then it's the same thing I have written here. You don't have to again. I'm gonna say it again. You don't have to memorize it. You can just copy it. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So BI YouTube. What do you think this one would be named?
Instagram.
Yeah, give me the whole class. So I with the class of what?
Uh,
Just look at the above
class.
tag. Which one? BI, and then
Yeah.
BI dash
Yeah. For Bootstrap and
Instagram. What about the third one? This one like Facebook is Facebook. So I with the class of BI and Facebook. So we have these icons. Okay. So what I want to do now is I want to have them side by side, the KFC and these icons. I want to have them side by side. What should I do? Yeah, good. Display flex on what? This time I'm not gonna tell you. On nope, icons are already side by side. I want this logo and these icons to be side by side. Who's the parent of the logo and the icons?
The parent container.
Who's the parent container? Who's the parent of logo and the icons only? Just the logo and the icons. No, for it is not the parent. F top, yes, F top. Look, how is it the parent? So basically, this logo and this F icons are enclosed in this F top div. They are not enclosed in the footer div. Okay, footer is the parent of F made bottom and top. Okay, so I'm just asking you about the logo and the icons. Okay, so they are enclosed in the F top. This is really important. You have to locate the parent. Okay, so save it, and then let's target the F top. F top, and I'm gonna say, let's say, display to be flex, and they're now side by side. I want them to be in the center on x-axis. What's the property? What's the property to make them? Yeah, good. Justify content. Justify content and what?
center.
Good, center. So they are now in the center. Good, very good. So I want them to be, they are not properly aligned. The KFC is at the bottom and the icons are at top. What should I do to make them align perfectly?
Align items.
Good, align items. I'm gonna say align, and then items in the center. Very good. So I want to have some space between them.
Gap.
Yeah, good. Gap. Let's say have some big gap, 4 rems. Yeah, it's good. So now the next part, I want to target these, and I want to put some spacing between them. Who's the parent of this one? Now this one has a different parent. Who's the parent of the icons? Who's the parent of the icons? Icons. F icons. Yeah. So I'm gonna say F icons. And what should I do in order to put gap between them? In order to have some space, what's the property to put inside the F icons div? Yeah, that is exactly the property, but we can't use the gap. Why do you think we can't use it? We cannot use gap on these 3 icons. What do you think? Why do you think is that? Yeah, exactly, very good. We need display flex, so we're gonna say first display flex, and then we're gonna say gap, and maybe let's say 0.6 maybe rems. Nah, some more, so let's say 1 rem. Yeah, now they're good. So I'm gonna make them bigger, a bit bigger. Sorry, what?
The width and height.
No, icons are not images. Icons are what? Icons are not images, so we can use width and height. So icons are what? If they're not images, what are they? Yeah, good. Icons are text. So how do we make the text bigger or smaller? Yeah, good. So we're just gonna say font size, and maybe let's say 1.5 frames. Yeah, now they're good. Okay. So now we want this YouTube to have red color, this one to have black, this one to have this bluish color. So we have to target them separately. So the class for YouTube is bi YouTube. Let me copy it. So I'm gonna say bi YouTube. And this YouTube is gonna have the color of red. Yeah, it's red now. So Instagram is black. So I'm gonna say bi dash Instagram to have the color of black. Okay, and the Facebook. So I'm gonna say bi Facebook to have the color of blue something, some shade of blue. So let me hover upon this, and you can choose whatever color you want. So let me give a light color. Yeah. Okay, so now I have given the color. So what more do we have here? Do I need to do something else with the icons, or that's it?
The background.
Yeah, good, the background. So I'm gonna target each icon. So how am I doing this? I haven't told you guys about this one, yes? Or have I told you about this? So this is the new thing. This is called multi-cursor. How can you do it? You have to press Alt and then click wherever you want the next cursor to be. So press Alt and click. Sorry? Yeah, exactly, yes. To write everything together. Very good. So basically, okay. So did you searched about it, or just you? Okay. Okay. Okay, so basically it's called multi-cursor. Okay, so there are two ways. The two ways are you can use control alt and arrow down. Okay, so it's gonna target the line down, or you can press alt, okay, alt, and then click wherever you want the cursor to be, and it's gonna be there. Now I can write three places at the same time. Okay, so look like this. So I'm gonna have the background color, so I'm gonna say background color is going to target those three places, and background color to be white. Save it, and yeah, I have this background color to be white, but I want it to be bigger. What should I do? I want to make the background to be bigger, something like this. What can I do?
You want to make the background bigger?
Yeah.
So background size.
Background size for the images. What can I do? I can do padding. Padding is gonna make them, it's gonna fatten it up. So maybe let's say 0.5 rem. Yeah. Okay, so now I want to make them rounded. What should I do? Like I want to make them round. What's the property to make them round? Like to make anything round.
Border radius.
Yeah, exactly, border radius. So I'm gonna say border radius, how much to be, let's say 50%. They aren't perfectly round. Yeah, I guess they're oval, not round. So what was the property that makes it perfectly rounded? Like there was border radius and there was another property that makes it perfectly rounded no matter what.
The border radius that's for 60%?
No, there was something else. Started with a C. It's right in front of you, like third property maybe. So it was
Click that.
clip path,
Path.
B circle. So now they're perfectly rounded. Okay, let's move towards.
Change the KFC color to green.
Okay, but we have to download another image for that. So maybe.
Yes, we want the war.
Okay.
Yes, we do.
Okay. Let's copy this one then. Copy image address and let me paste it here in the source. So let's go with the green. Okay, so this one has this a really big URL. So maybe.
But it will still, even though it's so small, it will still change to green, right?
Yeah, it will. Look, it's gonna change it to green.
Yeah, because when I was doing it, that happened because I copied, but it was so long, but it went through.
Okay, so that's a really good point that came up. Okay, that's a good thing. So basically, there are two ways to get images. So what you're seeing here is it's called data URI. Okay, so this is basically in order to make your website load faster. Okay, we use these images. So basically it compresses the size of your image. So this data URI. Okay, so what happens is if you put images like this, it's gonna load your website faster as compared to if you were to use saved images or the other images that we just copy from the internet. Okay, so that's the difference between these links and those links. Okay, so we have this green logo. Okay, showing our patriotism for Pakistan. Okay, so let's go towards the mid. This one. Okay, so mid one has a lot of work. What do you see here? What are they? What are these?
The task that I need to submit.
Okay, so let me pause the recording and let me send you a new link, and then I guess we have only around 50 to 90 minutes of work left. So let me pause the recording. Okay. So I was talking about this. Okay, so what is this?
Text.
Yeah, it's text, but it's a tag that we have discussed about, I guess, in our second or third class, or maybe first class. So how do we have to, maybe this, let's say this is a paragraph. So do we have to write paragraph again and again and again, like maybe it's like 10 or 11 times? So it's,
No.
so what is this? It represents a what? It looks like a what? Isn't it like a list?
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically it's a list. And how many lists have we discussed in HTML? How many types of lists are there in HTML? How many types?
This,
Sorry?
sorry, what did you say? How many this?
No, how many lists? How many types of list do we have inside HTML? Lists. Lists. Lists.
What was the ordered list?
Yeah, ordered and unordered list. Good. So what is this one? Is it ordered or unordered?
It's ordered.
Uh-huh. There's no order here.
No, unordered.
Yeah, so this is unordered. So what was the tag for unordered list?
UL.
UL, good. So
Oh,
inside the
yes.
UL, we had which tag? I guess this.
The list tag,
Yeah, good. The list item.
which
You're gonna
was
say
LI.
li. Good. So first one is saying about us. So I'm gonna say about us. Let me copy it down. The second one is mitao book. Okay, then let me just copy it, but I can't copy it. Okay. Privacy and policy. And then careers. Okay, we have
Just
this
a
list.
quick question,
Yeah, yeah,
sorry.
yeah,
So you know how I said art? So for an ordered list, it would be like numbered.
yeah, exactly, yes.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay,
I just wanted to know.
okay,
And
so look,
unordered list will just be random.
yeah, it's just be random. For example, if I were to say OL instead of UL, you would now have numbers here, okay,
Yeah.
instead of those bullet points. So we're gonna remove
Oh, okay.
we're gonna remove it anyway. So to be honest, it doesn't matter if you put OL or UL; it's the same thing.
Okay.
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 Okay. So again, the second one. Now let's get outside of this UL because this one is a new list. Okay. So we have to get outside of this list, but make sure you're still inside the F mid div. We're gonna say UL again and li. So it's contact us to look at a track order. So contact us. Then we have store locator, and then we have track order. And then the last, this one is again a new list. So I'm gonna get outside of this list, again create a UL, li, and then terms and conditions. So you can see we have first list, the second list, and the third list. We're gonna put them side by side just in a minute. So this one is also a list. Okay, and these are images. So outside of this list, I'm gonna create a UL again and li. So they are inside the single list. So I'm gonna say image. Let me copy it, but this one again is gonna have a really big URL. Oh my god. Okay, I think it's good. So inside the same, make sure you're inside the same li because it's not a new li. They are in the same line. So copy image address, image, and then paste it. And also let me give it a width, a specific width. So I'm gonna say width, maybe let's say 100 px, and let's say a height of 40 px. Yeah, they're good. Okay, so since now the midsection is completed, what I want to do is I want to have the midsection aligned side by side. What should I do? What should I do to align them side by side?
You have to.
Yeah, I have to do what? Can you guys hear me? Hello?
I
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can hear you.
Yeah, so what can we do in order to align these ULs side by side? Like it's a,
Display flex.
yeah, exactly, it's the same question again. Display flex on what? Now look at the parent of these ULs. Who's the parent of these ULs? All of these ULs.
F mid.
Very good. F mid. So we're gonna say dot F dash mid to be display of flex, and that's it. Look, they're now side by side, but I want to space them on the x-axis. Is it space between or space around?
Space between.
Uh-huh. Look, we have space from this side.
Space around.
Yeah, so we're gonna say justify content and then space around. Look, okay, but they're still too big. I want to decrease them in size. What should I do? What should I do to make them smaller? Like they're really big, they're spanning a lot of the screen. And if you were to look
Do
at this,
do you put space outside?
no, there's no thing as space outside. We have
Not
to,
like margin.
no, no, no. I need to
So,
decrease it. What's the property for
so we
decreasing?
have the font size.
No, no, no. I have to decrease the entire parent. What's the property for decreasing the parent? Just like we did above here, to make something smaller, we use what? Width to
Oh
be
yeah.
70%. Okay, I want them in the center. They're not in the center. So I'm gonna say margin. Yeah, good. Auto. Okay, great. But this time again, since we have decreased the width, we don't need to put space around anymore, because space around for having some width, we already had some width because of to have some space. We already have given the width, So now we would have the space from the outside, so it doesn't matter if you put space around or between. So let's put between, because you'll have the space from the left and right side because we have given it the width. Okay, so now the thing I want to do is I want to remove these dots. What are these dots coming from? Where are these dots coming from? Why are these dots coming from? Oh, sorry, why are these dots coming? Like, which element is
Are they
this?
like just by default?
By default, yeah, exactly. And which tag is giving them these dots?
The UL?
Yeah, good, the UL. So what we are going to say is we're going to say target every UL, and this is the new property. If you want to remove the dots, you're just going to say list style. Okay, list style. How do you want it to be? For example, if you were to say, let's say uh, disk, so it's gonna have these. Well, there's no disk. Let's say UL. It's already a disk, I guess. Let me do, let's say do something else, maybe lower Greek. Look, now we have some this.
No, we
Okay,
want nothing.
sorry.
We want nothing, right?
Okay, yeah, I want nothing. So what should I do? List style?
None.
None. Good. Now we don't have anything. Okay. Okay, so now we have reached the last of our website. This one, the last section. Well, it was too much. Although this one was really small website, but it was too much. The next one is gonna be bigger. Okay, I wanna have this. So what is this? This one, this.
The copyright?
Yeah, this is the copyright. So basically, what I meant it. Which element is this?
Mm,
Is it a paragraph or a heading?
paragraph.
Okay, paragraph. Let's inside the F bottom. Make sure you're inside the F bottom because we have created the F bottom for this section. Okay, so we're gonna say paragraph and then this one. Okay, we have this. Great. Okay, then we want to have in the second div. Okay, this one should have a different div. Okay, so here we're just gonna say create a new div and let's say developers. Okay, because this section is representing the developers. So this one is a heading. So we're just gonna say h5 powered by, and then we have this. What is this? This one.
Paragraph.
Nope. This one is what? Think again. Look.
Underline.
No. If I were to click, it's gonna take me somewhere.
Link.
The
Link.
source?
Yeah, link. A tag.
Hmm.
So I want to have a dummy link. Have you discussed about the dummy links?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
did.
So what should I put here? How do we create a dummy link?
Mhm.
I'll just put hash.
Yeah. Yeah, we used those in the beginning.
Yeah, but I guess you have forgotten about those things. So, but again,
No, we
there.
remember. It's in the book. It's in our book.
Okay, that's great then. That's great. Okay, what now we want to do is I want to put this one and this one side by side again. The same question again and again.
Display
Yeah, and
flex.
the same answer. Okay, and again I'm gonna repeat my same question. Display flex on what? And
Um.
you're gonna say the parent, and then I'm gonna say which parent.
Yeah.
Yeah, so which
F
parent?
bottom.
Who's the parent?
F bottom.
Yeah, good, F bottom. So we're gonna copy this, and we'll just say display flex. Okay, great. Okay, now side by side. But what we want to do is I want to have this last section the same width as the top section, this section, this one. So what was the width of this section? It was, I guess, 70%. So we're gonna say width 70%. Okay, great. Now we have the width of 70%, but I want it in the center. What should I do? Margin auto. Okay, now I want to spread them apart. What should I do?
Gap.
Nope. I want to spread them whatever, how much space there's available, just spread them. I want to spread them on x-axis. What's the property for that? Gap is going to do what? It's going to just, you have to specify that gap, okay? But what I want to do is, I want to put them as much apart as there is space between them, and that space I don't know, so that's why I can't use gap. You only use gap when you know how much gap you want to give. In this case, I want to spread them as much as there's space between them. So the property is going to be what? Justify content, and then
Yeah.
space between, okay? But I want to have them some spacing from top side, so instead of margin auto I'm going to say 2 rem and auto, like 2 rem from top and bottom and auto from left and right. That's great. Okay, now I want to target this one. What was this? It was h5.
Right?
H5, no, this one. So I'm going to say go inside the developers and get me h5. So how can I say that? I'll just say developers and then space h5 and then color this red one. Okay, now we have this red color, and this link should have a white color. So I'll just say developers, and A is going to select me the anchor tag from the developers div, and we'll just say color and white, and that is our website. Okay, it's completed finally. Okay, any questions until this point? So your homework is going to be this one, this section and this section, only two sections. Okay, so this one last thing before we end the class. Okay, the thing is, this website you're seeing here is, it's only accessible in my computer. Can you access this website? Can you see this website, or can you show this website to any other person? Can you or can you not? No, you cannot. Why is that? Because this website is local, like it's locally hosted on my computer. So for example, if you want to, for example, you have created a really good website, okay? For example, you guys are now creating your website and you want to show it to your friends, okay? You want to show your friends that we are now developers, mashallah. So how can you do that? You're not gonna, you're just not gonna send all of the code to them and ask them to, install VS Code and then run this code, use go live and everything. You are just going to send them what, so that they can see the link. Very good. So basically what we want to do now is, we want to host our website. Hosting means putting your website on cloud servers. And what are those cloud servers? Basically, servers are computers like our computer, but they are constantly online 24/7. Okay, so what we are going to do is, we are going to put this website, okay, this website on the cloud servers, so that our website would be accessed anywhere, anytime, by anyone. Okay, so how can we do that? Now this process is really important, because from now on you guys are going to send me the links of your website, not just the website. Okay. So what you are going to do is, you are going to open this amazing website. It's called GitHub. Okay, now this is basically called a resume for developers. Okay, what I meant by resume is, so let me go inside the profile and let me scroll down a bit. So what you're seeing here is the green dots you're seeing here is basically is telling how much this guy works. Okay, so these green dot represents how much code has been done over the year. Okay, so basically it's gonna take from the last year of this month to current month of this year. So these green dots are showing what is basically showing how much work you have done over this year. Okay, so this is basically your CV. Okay. So what you're going to do is, you are going to create an account on GitHub. Okay, so when you create an account on GitHub, this is your dashboard. This is what you are going to be greeted first. So what you are going to do is, you are going to click on this new. What we are doing right now is basically hosting a website. So I can just send you a link and you can just click on that link and you can see everything. Okay, and then you are going to put a name, repository name, basically folder name. So let's name it KFC. I guess we can name it because it's already present. So KFC, and let's say park. So this is what I want to name my website, KFC park. Okay, scroll down a bit, make sure this is public, okay, because we want our website to be public. And then create repository. Repository is like a container, a folder for your code. Okay, then it's going to ask us, get started by creating a new file or uploading an existing file. What do we want to do, create a new file or upload an existing file?
Upload.
Existing.
Yeah, good, upload an existing file. So I'm going to click on this one, and then we can drag and drop, or we can just choose your files. So I'm going to say choose files. So I guess our website was on desktop, so desktop and flex site rep. So you have to open upload the files, not the folders. Okay, click it. So it's gonna, okay, it's now, yeah, it uploaded all of it. And then commit changes. It everything is recorded, so don't worry, you can watch it again, and you can upload your websites. And it's uploaded. Okay, so now this code is accessible to anywhere. Like, you guys can copy my code as well, but don't copy, okay, it's just for the reference. Okay, so after uploading the files, you are guys are going to go inside the settings, and then you are going to click on the sidebar. You're going to see pages, click, and then locate this branch and change it from none to main, and then save. And that's it. Now your website is being built. Now your website is basically being uploaded on the servers, on the GitHub servers. So you just have to wait around 1 to 2 minutes. It's gonna create you your link, and you can share it to anyone. Let me refresh it a bit. It's gonna take around 1 to 2 minutes, and it is going to give you a link. Make sure to refresh after around 1 minute. Okay. Okay, so here we have your site is live at, and it gives me this link. So if you were to click on this, now your website is live, meaning anybody could see it. Anybody with that link can see it now. Okay, but do not open it on mobile phones at the moment, because it's gonna be, it'll be a chaos if you were to open it on the website on mobile phones at the moment, because we haven't studied how to make our website viewable on mobile phones. But on the desktop screen, it's gonna look really good. So I'll share you the link. If I were to, this is the link. You guys now have the link on the in the group, and you can see it. Like, you can share this link to anyone, and it's gonna be live, like anybody could see it. Okay, but again, do not open it on mobile phones at the moment.
Okay.
Alright.
Okay, so any questions?
Well, that's it.
Okay, so okay, the homework would be this one, this section, and the last section. And you have to upload your websites and send me the link of that website. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so if you don't have any questions, I guess we're gonna meet inshallah tomorrow,
Okay.
and we'll start a new website, creating a new website. And again, this time I'm gonna give you a lot of work, okay, because now I guess after creating all of this website, you guys now have kind of maybe intermediate level of knowledge how to create, websites. Am I right?
Yeah.
Or am I just am I right, or am I not? You guys have like intermediate level of knowledge now.
You're in the middle.
Okay, okay. Okay, in the middle is
We'll
good.
get there.
The middle is good.
Yeah.
Okay, because we have only created website, so the middle is good. Okay.
Yeah.
So any more questions?
No, that's it.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. We're gonna meet tomorrow, inshallah. Okay. Allah Hafiz.